Eastern Standard Time. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Are we back? Are we back? Okay. My name's Robin reporting live. It's a Sunday morning. It's 6:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a very quick live stream. If somebody pops on, I do want to have a simple debate. Yesterday, I did a live stream that I thought was really beautiful. It had a series of, I had a couple people that were really insistent about not using the word God, and really what felt like confrontation. But I do enjoy a good debate on live streaming. I do actually enjoy a good debate as long as it's constructive. Hey, Lauren, good morning. I'm glad you're here. This is such a quick live stream. I wanted to ask your opinion, and you're the perfect person because you were here yesterday. I was doing a lot of thinking on live stream this morning. I blocked a person for the first time. They had written a comment. It was that same person that was saying, you know, don't talk about God, don't use the word God. You owe me an apology for using the word God. And they wrote that in my comments. And I thought, as much as I love a good debate, and I think it's important for us to see people having different perspectives and being able to still have a normal conversation, I was thinking this morning that those same people can be preventing me from interacting with people like you who are actually here for some real value and that want to have an intelligent conversation and constructive dialogue. So I thought, is it wrong for me to block people like that? Should I give them a few opportunities first and say, hey, look, this is a constructive conversation. You are absolutely allowed to have a different opinion. I welcome different opinions. That's kind of why I feel a bit torn. I feel like I welcome other people's perspective. I don't want to silence people because they don't agree with me. I don't. But at the same time, I don't want the conversation to just be with them when we're not actually adding value or just we're refereeing a conversation. So I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. I was thinking going forward, I would give them a couple opportunities. Let's see. Lauren says I blocked them mid-chat because they were just being rude, argumentative, and there wasn't any healthy debate that would have come out of that. Absolutely, that's true. You're right. But I did feel like, remember when they were talking about not saying God and their perspective about God? I feel like it did give me an opportunity and others. Somebody piped up and said, like, God loves you no matter what, like whether you believe in him or don't like him. Someone wrote, God loves you no matter what. And I didn't have that response. And I thought that was a beautiful response. So it almost felt like it gave other people a chance to speak their truth too. Do you see what I mean? Like, you're right, they were argumentative and they probably didn't come for a healthy debate and constructive conversation. You're so right, they didn't. But at the same time, it did give us opportunity to speak about God, to speak about our perspective, and it gave other people a chance to say, hey, God loves you no matter what, which I thought was such a beautiful way to hear it. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe these people need to hear that strangers are rooting for them or that strangers still want them to look at things in a different, more helpful way. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel a little bit torn. I do feel a little bit torn if blocking is the right move, maybe just silencing them in the chat. And I hope they still have an opportunity to, if they wanted to, still listen in on the interaction. I don't know how blocking works, so I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to play it by ear. You know, yesterday's chat, even what you wrote about, you know, going out for dinner afterwards, or excuse me, I imagine, is it groceries you went out for or just to pick up some food where that's usually uncomfortable for you? It felt beautiful to hear that, you know, a live stream was able to talk these real things out and have a real dialogue on a live stream. It felt very beautiful. Danny says, Lauren, go to bed. No, Lauren, it's 11 a.m. for where Lauren is. Hit that like button, y'all. Yeah, thank you. Like and subscribe. Oh, that's right, actually. That's something I'm supposed to be saying. If you ever find this content helpful, if you ever find the live streams helpful, just interesting dialogue, having someone go on live from another part of the world and just kind of talk through the comments, talk with people, figure out what's going on in their lives, and we can kind of debate subjects. I love that. I love sharing any struggles that I'm going through and how I'm working through it. You know, that's the whole purpose of this. We've got Dominic says, I'm depressed. You know, I hope that's not true, but I know a lot of people are struggling right now. A lot of people are struggling right now. And I think that if you can identify that you're struggling, yep, it's your job. Just give me, oh, I'm not sure what that means. Let's say, yo, you a fan of Spidey? No, my name is Robin, reporting live from Ontario, Canada. I do live streams to have interesting conversations about life and the mind. And we've got someone here. Dominic says, it's true. My girlfriend broke up and now I'm sad. Absolutely. And I think sadness is a normal part of a breakup, Dominic. I think that it's important for humans to feel their emotions. So if you do feel sad, give yourself that grace to feel sad after a breakup. When I was younger, much younger, because I've been with my husband for a long time, I didn't handle breakups well either. I got very emotional and I found myself kind of just occupying my time, and needing to stay busy. And then I often got into another relationship not too long after. Thinking back, that's not a good move. I would always recommend, if you've gone through a tough breakup and you're feeling sad, allow yourself to feel sad, but still get outside for fresh air, do the normal things that you're supposed to do, work, take care of your home, take care of yourself, but then do a lot of inner work. What a lot of times people look to blame others on what happened, but it's really never going to help you. And I'm not suggesting you blame yourself. I do think that, but it is important to look inwards to see what we can work on. Let's see, someone's got to go. Just flop them out. Oh, I'm not sure, Ram. I'm going to call you Ram. Let me know what you mean when you said just flop them out. Let's see. Again, my name is Robin, reporting live. It's actually 7:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Canada. I do live streams where we talk about the mindset, the brain, challenges we might be going through, ways that we can try to solve them, ways to use the internet for good. That's really what I want. Hey, and the real question that I jumped on this live stream was because yesterday I did a live stream and I thought it was actually very beautiful, but I had a handful of people really combative in the chats. And I like a good debate. I can handle when people say mean things in the chat. I'm 45, folks. I have my whole life. My life's pretty put together, so I can handle some mean comments in the chat. And I don't necessarily want to block mean people. Well, mean's not the right word. I'll say I don't want to block people if they don't agree with me. That's not why I'm here. One thing I want this channel to do is promote the idea that we don't have to think like each other. Like, I'm not on here trying to make you think like me. This is just my own perspective on my own little corner of the internet on YouTube here from Ontario, Canada. And I just genuinely love this stuff. So I don't want to block people if they don't think like me, but at the same time, there's some wonderful people that I've met through live streaming that genuinely want to have this dialogue. And if someone keeps coming at you, at what point do I say, okay, this is not effective, and now the other people that are really here trying to have this conversation, they're being sidelined. So I'm just curious, at what point do we block someone? Because I don't like it. I blocked someone today and it actually didn't feel good. I don't know. I'm torn, folks. I'm torn. Let's see. Danny says, you're not very bright. Bless ya. Oh, Danny sounds similar to some of the people that we had online yesterday. One thing I know too is that there are people who specifically have YouTube accounts just to not always say favorable things to others online. And I think that says more about them than it does about me. And I have compassion for those people. I know from personal experience that people who go out of their way to try to hurt others are actually hurting themselves. because genuinely happy people wouldn't even bother. They wouldn't even have time for that. You know what I mean? So I want to have compassion for those people, and I do have compassion, and I don't want to just block someone because they said, like, for example, hey, you're not very bright. I'm not going to block you for that. You have every right to think that way. You have no idea about myself, and that's fair. I think sometimes people jump on live stream, they watch a clip for 10 seconds and they have this whole judgment about you. And I would encourage them to just watch a little longer, listen in a bit longer. We're very quick to judge, us humans. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting some repeat comments here. Your fave bleach says, hey girls, do you have any new videos here that you saw or read? How do you understand that? It was some article that I read about that discussion. I'm not sure. We've got a hello from Double A. Hi. I'm glad you're here. My name's Robin, reporting live. This is actually just a very quick live stream just to get your opinion on when do you block someone in a chat on a live. I don't mind a debate. I don't mind when people don't agree with what I say. I welcome that. So at what point do we drop it? Double A says, I would also argue that being mispositive online and reaching to morons is also therapeutic for many. Okay, let me reread that. I would also argue that being Mrs. Positive online and reaching to morons is also therapeutic for many. You know what? Me being online, interacting, and just sharing insights. Listen, life's not always positive, folks. It doesn't exist that way. We create a lot of everything that goes on in our mind based on how we react to things in our life. So I think that I have to trust and believe that the right people will see the right message. And along the way, you're going to get some people that either are curious or they jump to conclusions, or they're maybe in their own mental mind frame of negativity and only seeing the worst in others. I can't do anything for those people. If somebody wants to just assume the worst in me because I'm live streaming on YouTube, I don't know. There's nothing I can do or say, really. That's up to them if they want to give a few minutes or scroll by or say something mean. I can't control other people. I can only control how I react. Let's say Razor says, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. JC. Oh, that sounds beautiful. Double says, I'm having a shitty night. I appreciate stumbling across your stream like this. It helps. Great. That's the whole purpose. I'm so glad. And again, I don't necessarily think that people have to agree with me on these live streams. Like, this is literally my own perspective that I jump on here to share, things I've learned along the way. I had lots of crappy experiences myself in my lifetime, and I've come so far because of them. And I can think of a lot of terrible examples in my life that I actually learned something very valuable from, and it changed the way I see life. It changed my experience and everything. And I just feel like, hey, maybe there's a way that I wrote a book. It's on Amazon. It's a little guide. You know, I'm just finding ways to spread that positivity and optimism and let people know that if they want to change, they can. If you find that you are always thinking about negative, seeing worse in people, life keeps giving you back these terrible examples of stuff, you could actually change that. There is a way, and it takes time and a desire to change, right? I'm glad you found this stream. Jake says, it disgusts me how comfortable people have gotten with God. Have you forgotten the Old Testament? If you truly understand his power and glory, you would tremble. See, again, Jake, my experience right now is that I think that God and the universe is the same thing. And folks, again, this is my perspective, so I welcome your perspective. I like meeting people that think differently than me, genuinely. I'm not scared of people that think differently. And I don't need anyone to think the way I do. I think God has tremendous power. I think God and the universe are the same thing. I don't think God is malicious, angry, looking to wield his power in a negative way. I think he wants us all to thrive. Is it Colby? Colby says, what's your guide about? This is called 14 Days to an Abundant Mindset. I used to have a very fixed mindset, paralyzed with fear. I had some circumstances happen when I was young that were really terrible. And, my dad was not feeling well one night. He had indigestion. He was like vomiting. And I was 6 years old. And I was like, oh my God, tears. Mom, is dad going to die? Lots of kids say that. Lots of kids say that. And the next morning he was dead. He died of a heart attack at 38 years old. Okay. So my little brain thought that every time I think something wrong, it'll happen. But anyway, I worked through all that, okay? And I wrote a guide called 14 Days to an Abundant Mindset. It's just to help people identify their limiting beliefs, using words of affirmation to remind themselves of their intrinsic power. It's got journal prompts. It's got little reflections and quotes for 14 days to help you step out of your comfort zone. So again, folks, our challenges, we can either use them as a reason to be a victim and be scared forever and to think that the world is a terrible place, or we can find the power somewhere in there. And it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, right? It's not going to happen the next day. But I promise you, if you want to change the way you think, it's possible. If you find yourself always thinking the worst, you could change it. I promise you, you can change it. Oh, thank you, Colby. I appreciate that. Hey, Noah. I'm glad you're here, Noah. Tracy, no way. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Did I miss some? Okay, hold on. Wait, I don't want to miss your comments. I do genuinely value here. Let's see. Oh yeah, so I said the guide. Double says many won't. Many will challenge. Many will joke. But some sneaks in and gets light from a person, who opens the opportunity for discussion. Absolutely. And that's why I don't want to let a couple people that come by and, poo-poo on me. Like, I've been called a lot of terrible things in the live stream, and I can see why somebody would feel like, if I was a different person, if I was younger, I'm 45, right? If I was a different person, like, some of these mean things could really hurt my feelings, and then I would give up. I would give up on my mission. There's no way. I'll tell you right now, every time I leave these live streams, I leave feeling a little more hopeful for the future. And I leave feeling like, hey, I live in a really small town surrounded by farms and forests. If it wasn't for the internet, I would never be able to have these conversations with people. The people that I get to talk to, wonderful people, but a lot of us are consumed by the news and politics and all the things that are going on. No one wants to talk about their hopes and dreams and goals. They don't. And I do. I want to talk about my hopes, dreams, goals, what I'm working on, what you're working on, how we can make our minds resilient to what's going on in the world. So if I don't have people like that right now to talk about it, I come on live stream and I do it here with the good people of the internet. Imagine, and whoever's down for that conversation can stay. And like you said, Double Edge, whoever's not, maybe they'll listen in. Maybe they'll give it a chance, or they scroll to what they're interested in, right? Hey again, let's see. Hey, Noah's here. I'm glad Noah's here. Tracy said, no way. Perhaps you're referencing that story about my dad. It was a really, really rough time. Okay, you talk to strangers. Why? What's going on here? My name's Robin, reporting live from Ontario, Canada. It's 7:13 in the morning. I'm going to head to the gym shortly. I wanted to do a live stream to say, hey, I miss you too, Noah. To say, like, folks, there are good people in the world that have just good intentions. Truly. They don't want anything from you. You don't have to buy my book. You don't have to buy my book. If you want to be serious and say, like, hey, I'm willing to invest in my change and myself, go for it. But if you have a pen and paper and you want to just journal and write through things, I talk about stuff like that on my channel all the time. I wouldn't want anyone to buy my book that has to, like, go on credit or is struggling financially. I would tell you not to buy the book. I would rather you thrive, and, I don't need to be involved. I would just much prefer you thrive, honestly, genuinely. That's why I talk to strangers on the internet. To thrive, and yet we live in a world of hurt, pain, and suffering. You cannot be benevolent and just. He has no mercy for evil. I think as much as there's pain, hurt, and suffering in the world, there's also good and love and generosity and kindness. And it is up to us to decide what we want to focus on. There is literally so much of good in the world. and we get to choose what we're focused on. The news isn't going to help you focus on the good, folks. It's not. And depending on the content you follow on your feed, this scrolling, whatever it's called, I mean, you've got to choose what the algorithm presents to you. It's going to present the content that you most engage with. So you have to make a conscious choice about what you want to engage with going forward, excuse me. You can pick all the sad stories, but then life will just keep reflecting that back to you, folks. Razor, the Bible doesn't whitewash things that happen. Even King David's sins were exposed and not covered up, which adds to its authenticity. Again, folks, we get to choose what we focus on. Let's see here. Uh-oh, you've got something walking in your tent. Holy no, I hope you're okay. Mad Viper says, when I drink, I wake up in the morning and my butt hurts. Oh, geez, that's pretty dangerous. I would lay off the drinks. Let's see. Future, no more oil, no more future. Oh man, folks, I know people are really scared right now, and I feel like that's why I need to do this. That's why I need to do this. I appreciate you sharing your comments here. Okay, any quick relationship advice? Oh, I appreciate that. See, I love when we're talking about some other topics too. Yeah, you know what? I've been, knock on wood, in a beautiful relationship for 23 years. And my relationship advice would be to always do what you can for that person. One thing I notice about my husband and I is that we kind of know what each other loves and appreciates, and then we do that for each other. You know what I mean? So I think that when you're with the right person, you're going to want to go out of your way to do things for them, and vice versa. They do things for you, and then you're always just expressing love through various actions and communication. You know, again, I've been with my husband. We started dating 23 years ago. And it's the kind of marriage that I hope my son has. Honestly, I hope my son has a marriage like ours. So it's really beautiful. But I don't want to say like I have relationship advice. Part of me feels like I got lucky, if I'm being honest. I got lucky. I was in my 20s when I met my husband. I'm 45. But I do believe that when we're coming from a good place, we're not looking for fault in the other person. We're looking for healthy ways to love them, healthy ways to build them up, healthy habits you could do together. I think that's a really beautiful relationship. So find common ground. Let's see. Okay, double A says, it's brutal when someone spews nonsense, ironically sounds nuts. That oddly might help someone. Yeah, you know what? That's why I don't want to block people on the comments. I don't want to block. I block one person. I'm like, God, I don't think I want to do that. Can I unblock them? I don't know. I do want a healthy debate. I can choose which comments I read. And when people say mean things to me on the whatever the chat, I read them. I read them. You want to call me what was one of them I got? Transvestite, stuff like that. Hey, maybe my voice is a little masculine. Like, I know, I have a mirror. I have ears. I have gray hair. I have lines and wrinkles. Like, I get it. It's cool. I'm not looking for perfection. So when people attack me, like, I'm comfortable reading it in the chat. But again, I don't know what the right thing to do is. Hey, my life is hard. Noah, I want you to know that at any point we could start working to make our life easier. Start noticing the blessings. People poo-poo on that. Like, talk about your blessings, talk about gratitude. Look for the things that you're hopeful for and that are working out in your life. And then you'll start noticing even more things that are working out. There's a mechanism in our brain for that. It's called the reticular activating system. Google it, research it, chat GPT it. Once I learned that, I mentioned it in my guide, I was like, oh, okay, that's how it works. And I started using my understanding about how the brain works to brainwash myself. Because the internet and the news and our conversations, folks, are brainwashing us anyway. They are. So choose to brainwash yourself and be very, very vigilant about what you allow into your consciousness. Not to be blind and naive, okay? Not to be blind and not think that there's terrible things in the world, but to be selective with how you want your life to look and what you want to think. Did you decorate your room? It looks very nice. Thank you, Lee Smith. I did. This is actually my office. I'm a full-time remote worker. I'm in this office for many, many hours a day, and my job is quite serious. So I love live streaming and keeping it light and easy and just talking about something productive. So yeah, there we go. That's my office. I appreciate decorating my home. My husband and I are very, I don't know what the right word is, but our environment and the way it looks and the way it feels and just the energy of our home and space is very important to us. So maybe one day I'll do a house tour. It's only an 1,800 square foot bungalow, but it's beautiful. And we've created this loving, energizing space. So thank you for saying that. Noah says, I'm a Christian. That's beautiful. Jesus loves you all, Razor says. Yes, resist doing evil. Absolutely. Such a good point. Love one another as he above loves you and stay positive. Razor, what a beautiful comment, folks. Just to reiterate, Jesus loves you, whether you believe or not. You know, the universe, Jesus, whatever you want to call it, like you are loved. Each human, the desire for each human is to thrive, to get to know ourselves, to get to know our brain, to accept others for their differences, to kind of understand, to maneuver the challenges with a willingness to try to understand. We can't avoid them. We can't avoid them. I love that you wrote that. Stay positive. Oh, look, Double says, Noah, what's causing your hard time? Yeah. Oh, what's the name of the book? It's called 14 Days to an Abundant Mindset. I'm going to do some live streams where we can talk about it and stuff in case you're not in a position to buy it. Again, I don't want anyone to buy something they can't afford. Okay. 14 Days to an Abundant Mindset. There's little mini challenges, quotes, reflections, and just something for 14 days to help you step outside of your comfort zone. Noah is a great name. Absolutely. Thank you. Happy spring, Piper says. Hey, Piper, I recognize your name. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry for your loss. Oh, Noah, did I miss that? Let's see. I love you all. Shalom, Travis says. Beautiful. Hey. How old is Noah? I like cats. A car just crashed. I hope that's not true, Noah. I hope you're okay, buddy. I hope you're okay and you're with a trusted adult. Do we really have any choice at all? Do we not make our choices based on our nature? And at what age did you choose your nature? Listen, I think it's a good point. When we're young, we have less choice. Absolutely. And we're kind of fed the environment, you know, whatever environment we're in, absolutely. But I don't know what age we get to choose. I think when we become conscious of awareness, or excuse me, when we become conscious of our own thoughts, there's something called metacognition, where it's like thinking about thinking, like you thinking about your thinking and noticing like, hey, you know, I often keep thinking about all the problems that are going on in the world. Like if you can catch yourself when you're doing that and then start thinking about your thinking, you could elevate above it and then start directing it and say, well, it's impossible to think there's only bad going on. It would be silly to think that there is good, and perhaps seeking it out would be a good option for you. If someone else has some tips or advice for each other in the chat, I might be in backlog in the chat, but if you have any advice or some words of wisdom, please do share it. Like, my hope is that we leave here better off than we started. If at the very least, we leave here better off than we started. Ignore the haters. Absolutely, Piper. I appreciate you saying that. Yesterday, the whole purpose of this live stream was to kind of talk about at what point do I block the haters? And are they haters? Maybe they're hurting. They're hurters. They're hurting, you know? I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is. You have a mind that has room for patience. Oh, double A. I wish that was true. I'm patient in some areas, and then in one area specifically, I'm less patient, and I need to work on that. So I appreciate you saying that. There are many areas with my work I'm very patient with. Strangers, I'm very patient. Sometimes, though, as a mom, I can see that I need to do better with my patience. So, you know, we're all working on different things, folks. We all have areas of our life that need improvement. Oh, thank you. Is it B Mike 995 says amazing advice. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. I love interesting dialogue. That's why I do these live streams. So, hi, how are you? Ronald says. I hope, nah, you're awesome. Thank you. Is it Kronos? I'm glad you're here. Capybaras flying on pigs. I don't even know what that is. What's a capybara again? I can't remember. Joshua says, eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and let them sit on the waters and make believe whatever that means. Oh, that's an interesting one. My son loves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Jake says, if the bad comments stick, just remember if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can't hurt you. Ooh, Jake, that might be something really, really amazing that you said. Okay, hold on. Just remember, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can't hurt you. That's beautiful. That's kind of how I feel. I don't feel like I have an enemy within. I'm not looking to say mean things to people. And despite if they say mean something to me, I'm not trying to hurt them back. I will always send love back. Why the long face? That's just my facial shape. I have an extra oval facial shape. Let's say, oh, you look wonderful. Have a lovely day. Thanks, Lee Smith. I'm glad you're here. Gorgeous woman. Thank you. Gupinder, I'm glad you're here. If you get comments, if you get hate in the comments, delete it. Yeah, you know what? I feel, again, like I said, there's something about deleting that I don't want to do. I genuinely don't want to do. I want to allow people to have their voice, but I don't want it to distract from the bigger picture, which is, you know, trying to have a dialogue that makes us see life with possibility, right? Not negativity that, oh, there's only terrible things going wrong, with possibility. Because that's how I'm feeling. I feel a lot of hope for the future, a lot of possibility. I feel empowered that I can take actionable steps to create the life I want. And I want other people to feel that way. So I'm going to just keep going. But I love Piper. I feel like you're looking out for me, Piper, and I appreciate that. We got Carly says, hi. Let's say, just say to anyone that's negative in the chat, thanks for chatting as you're helping the stream. Cheers. Yeah, allow projects. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to have to find a healthy strategy for it and kind of just play it by ear, you know, because one thing I don't want to do is be reading all these people that are stuck in this mindset, and then I miss people like Piper's nice comment, you know, Noah, Project, all these wonderful people that are here. I don't want to miss reading your name and comment. I like it. I like to see what you have to say. 100% right. Say that again. 100% right. I like your handle. Let's see. Okay, we've got your favorite belief says, hey girls, you look nice, and I hope you got used to it. Even in the summer or at home, you feel safe. In the winter, when you're outside and home in your bed, enjoy it somehow differently than I do. I hope that you're feeling safe. I think safety is so important. So, you know, we're so lucky, aren't we? We have so much to be grateful for. There's people that are at their home that might not feel safe. Can you imagine? And here we are on the internet, live streaming, communicating, what, complaining? So we should be grateful. Who plays Roblox? Noah wants to know, not me. You look like a person. Where are the windows? Looks like a prison. Oh, looks like a prison, Kevin says. Oh man, this home that I'm in right now is the complete opposite of a prison. It's my most favorite place. It's really beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. 17 people. Folks, that's incredible. Listen, I got to go to the gym. Oh, wait, sup, my main lesbian glasses. Yeah, these are my lesbian glasses. Listen, again, I don't mind reading the comment. Like, I actually like it. I like reading your comments. I like seeing this. I got to go to the gym. Again, I'm glad you're here. The purpose of these live streams is not to reject people that are saying things that are not in line with me. I will always welcome differences of opinions. I'm glad you're here. I want you to know that this world consists of millions of billions of people, and we're not going to think the same. And in fact, the idea that we expect others to think like us is ridiculous. So I really hope that you've gained something from this live stream. Oh, believe in the Lord Jesus, or thou shalt be saved. You look like Ham from Stray Kids. Oh, I think you were here before and you told me that. I end up Googling it. I think it's a dude, actually. So I look like a dude from a music band, but hey, that's cool. That person was good looking. I screenshot your comment one time and I looked it up. So thank you. I'm glad you're here. Okay, folks, listen, I gotta go. Are you a fake shrink? No, my name's Robin, and I'm just sharing my perspective here online. I did do a coaching. I got my coaching certificate last year because I am genuinely interested in this subject matter, but I learn it for fun. I would never come here and be like, hey, I'm a professional coach. I'm not. I just got my certification because I'm genuinely interested in this stuff and I've seen so much shift in my life, so much change. I'm gonna do a vlog on it. I wish I could show you like where I used to live and everything and like where we are now. I don't know. If you knew that, you would have so much hope for yourself. And that's the purpose of this. I don't want to rub my blessings in people's faces. I want you to see that if it's possible for others, it's possible for you. It really is. And that's like basic 101, what I want you to know. So I gotta go. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to enjoy my Sunday. It's 7:30 in the morning. I gotta brush my teeth still. Ah! Thank God it's only vision here, folks. Thank you. I appreciate you genuinely.